Hello everybody out there in the bookverse, it's Stephanie, and today I am going to be talking about my most anticipated releases for the third quarter of 2020. So I decided to actually pick 6 books this time to put on the list. I know I usually pick 5, but I just had to go with 6 this time. And then I also thought I'd throw in at the end some sequels. I haven't read the books before, but they're coming out and they are a series that I'd like to get to sometime, but it's just not high up on my priority list at the moment. If you're new to my channel, hello, welcome. Thank you so much for watching my videos. If you'd like to see more from me, definitely hit the subscribe button down below and the bell icon so you'll be alerted when I post new content. But I want to jump into these new releases because some of them are coming up really soon. I'm going to be posting this at the beginning of July, and some of them might be coming out like a day or two after I post this, but we will see. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is The Shadows by Alex North. This is coming out on July 7th. Alex North is the author of The Whisper Man, and I never read it, but I am very interested to read some of his work because I hear it is very scary, and I'm thinking I might decide to save this one for in October when I want to read some more scary, creepy books because, you know, that's just the vibe of that time of year. This book is about a series of murders that occurred. I think they were pretty violent and uniquely disturbing murders that occurred 25 years ago from when our story starts by this man, and the man has disappeared, the man who committed these murders. And one of the friends of some of the boys that were murdered moves back to the town, and then a copycat starts committing murders. I don't know. I'm thinking it's going to be pretty scary. I'm thinking it's going to be fun. And so maybe that'll be one that I can add to my Creepy October TBR. The next one on this list, I'm sure, is on a lot of people's lists, and that is Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer. It comes out on August 4th, and this is kind of the reimagining of Twilight from Edward's perspective. Now, I do realize that Twilight has a lot of issues, but it has so much nostalgia for me, and I loved it when I was young, and I'm enjoying rereading them just because of the nostalgia. I don't get into the story as much as I used to, but it is still fun, and I would love to read this book just to be able to see what it's like and just kind of revisit that world that was so big in my childhood. The next book, and one that I am actually super excited for, is Star Daughter by Shweta Thakur, I think is how you say the name. If you know me, you know I'm so bad with names. I'm horrible at pronouncing them. But this comes out on August 11th. And this is a contemporary fantasy that has been described as kind of Stardust mixed with Hindu mythology, which sounds amazing. And it is about a girl who is half star, half mortal. And when her mortal father is injured, she goes to the place of the stars to compete in order to be part of the ruling family of the heavens, I believe. And I think this is so that she can gain the power to save her father's life, I believe. I am super excited about it. I think it sounds so cool. I mean, half star, half mortal. You hear like the half gods, half mortals more commonly, but this sounds very interesting. It kind of reminds me a little bit, maybe I shouldn't say this because it's a spoiler, but if you have read the trilogy that I'm thinking of, leave a comment down below so I can see if it makes anyone else think of the same thing it makes me think of. The next book on this list I actually already have a copy of because it came in one of my book boxes, but it's not supposed to be released until August 25th as far as I am aware, and that is Where Dreams Descend by Janella Angelis. This story is kind of a circus-themed story. There are people who are competing to become the next headliner of this really famous circus, and then people start disappearing or dying, and so there's obviously a lot more going on in this competition than we are aware of, and I think it might be fantasy-based or have some fantastical elements. I'm really excited for it because I'm hoping it might give me some night circus vibes, which I absolutely love. So this book I think will probably be one that I read fairly soon after it comes out, or actually maybe before it comes out because I already own it, but it is one that I'm really excited for because of the night circus vibes that I'm feeling from it. The next book on this list is To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. This comes out on September 15th, and the reason that I am really excited about this book is because I loved the Eragon series when I was younger. It was one of my favorite series growing up. I absolutely adored it, and this is the first book that I'm aware of that Christopher Paolini has come out with besides his kind of short stories about the same world as Eragon since then. This is a sci-fi book, and it is about this xenobiologist who goes to a different planet but then discovers something under the earth that could alter human history. It sounds really interesting, and I am very intrigued to see how Christopher Paolini does with sci-fi as opposed to the more classical fantasy elements that I'm more familiar seeing his writing with, obviously with Eragon. And the last book on this list is Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. This is going to be coming out on September 15th as well. This is the same author of Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. Sorry, I always want to say Doctor Strange there, and I know that's not right. But I am actually mostly just excited about it because it is that same author. I've never read Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, so I don't know why that seems like something that I would enjoy, but I am still very intrigued by it. And it follows a man who lives in this kind of labyrinth-esque house, and it has like an ocean in it or waves, and he's trying to figure out some big magical secret with another person helping him, but then something they uncover could be very dangerous. And I just think it sounds really fascinating and interesting. I love kind of labyrinth books and the really fantastical elements to that. I think it feels a little bit like The Starless Sea, which I absolutely adored. So we will see how that one is. I'm guessing it's going to be a chunker because her last book was huge. So I am excited for it to come out. It probably isn't going to be one I read right away, but it is one that I have my eye on. And now a few books that are coming out that are sequels in a series that I'm kind of excited for, or ones that I haven't read the series yet, and so I am not excited for them until I get into the series, I'm just going to list a few of these off. I'm not really going to talk about what they're about because that would just take a little bit of time. So one of them is A Beautiful Foolish Endeavor by Hank Green. This is coming out on July 7th, and this is the sequel to his book, A Truly Remarkable Thing. Another one is Blood and Honey by Shelby Mahurin. This is coming out on September 1st, and this is the sequel to Serpent and Dove, which I did read, but I wasn't a huge fan of, so I'll pick it up, but it's not going to be one that I'm super anticipating. On September 15th, The Trouble with Peace is coming out. This is by Joe Abercrombie, who is the author of the First Law trilogy, which is a trilogy I'm very interested in. And this book is within that same world, but not in that same series. So I would like to read the First Law trilogy before I read this book, but it is something that I would very much like to get to. And the last book on this list is The Thorn of Emberlane by Scott Lynch. This comes out on September 17th, and this is the next book in his Gentleman Bastard series, with the first one being The Lies of Locke-Lamora, which you can't really read them, but I have the 3 that are out back here. So I really want to get to this series. I've heard so many people say that it was one of their favorite series of all time. It's kind of like an adult Six of Crows with some really good friendships and kind of great romances going on. And I would love to get to this series, but it's just not quite at the top of my list. I have so many books that I want to read, but this I think is the 4th book that is going to be coming out in September. And so I would love to get to this series, just not quite there yet. Okay, those are the books that I am really anticipating that are coming out within the next 3 months. If you are excited about any of these books, let me know down in the comments. And if you have any that you know of that are coming out in the next 3 months that you think I would enjoy, leave a comment down below so I can check them out. And as always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more from me, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.